Hi everyone, welcome again to Bake Your Way Kitchen. Today I'm going to be talking to you about zest. Lemon zest, orange zest, or kiwi zest, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to use. I'm just going to basically detail to you about these and why we use them in baking, and just some important tips to keep in mind when you do this. So a common tool used for getting zest is like a microplane like this. It's got a very fine serrated edge, and that makes it easy to shred the outside of your orange or lemon. So pretty much it's very straightforward to get extract. Get zest. You take an orange or a lemon or whatever tangy, whatever acidic fruit you're using. The typical ones are orange, lemon, sometimes kiwi, but the most common ones are orange and lemon. So you basically take your orange and you simply rub it against your microplane, and you can see these fine specks forming on the other side of the microplane, and that is what the zest is. And you'll see the tracks that leave behind. Now, something important to keep in mind, no matter if you do an orange zest or a lemon zest, never ever go too much. As soon as you start seeing white, as soon as it starts going white, like right now, you've gone too far, because right under the top layer of the lemon or orange rind, it's white and it's very bitter tasting. The purpose of zests is to brighten up or even cut the sweetness in a recipe. Like, for example, a cheesecake recipe, which I will be doing in an upcoming video, I do use lemon extract. Why? Because what happens is when you add in the cream cheese and the butter and the sugars and the eggs, it's just over the top rich, and the lemon kind of cuts it back. So it's not only about sweetening it, but it's also about balancing your recipe. Now, just because a recipe calls for lemon zest or orange zest does not necessarily mean that it's going to come out tasting all lemony. Of course, the more you add, the more that flavor is going to come out. But oftentimes, it can be used to cut back. Like you'll sometimes see it in pancake recipes, or as I was mentioning, cheesecake recipes, and it's very good. And sometimes I even add it into like my cookies, even like my regular chocolate chip cookies. I add actually a little bit of orange zest. It sounds unusual, but let me tell you, it really just makes a huge difference. It makes the cookie stand out from the rest, and yet it does not entirely taste like orange, although it does have that hint, of course. So that's orange. And I don't need this right now. Sorry, I just wasted a little bit of zest. So now for lemon, same thing. You want to, as you use your microplane to do this, you just want to go around the edges. If you go in one spot multiple times, you can see that white forming, and that's not what you want, because that'll be bitter tasting in whatever recipe you do. So that's very important to keep in mind. So, if you ever want to actually, though, flavor your recipe, let's say you don't have lemon extract or orange extract, some recipes call for that, and it's kind of unusual because you don't often see lemon and orange extract asked for. What you can always do is take the zest of an orange or lemon, and I would caution you, though, like especially with an orange, which is larger, to start off with just a little bit and gradually add to your recipe as you see it is needed. So that's just a basic quick video about zest. Now, one thing, I forgot the most important thing I wanted to talk about in this video. Whenever in a recipe you do lemon or orange zest, or whatever zest you're doing, 110%. I'm not an organic freak, I will tell you, but when it comes to doing zest, when you're using zest, you betcha I'm going to be going out to get the organic stuff, because you don't want those pesticides going into your going into whatever recipe you're doing. So I would highly recommend, first of all, thoroughly wash all your fruit, because the outside is what's touched the most in the manufacturing and everything. So it's always very important, not just a quick rinse, like a real good, even a scrub, just so that you know that all the germs, any possible germs are off of whatever it is you're making. And of course, organic, because then there's no pesticides being used, and that way you're keeping it a little more healthy, technically, I guess you could say, because there's no added chemicals that are bad for the human body. So that's just a basic video, quick video. I'm going to do these on occasion for certain things that might be called for in a recipe that might catch people a little off guard. I guess those that are new to baking with using zests and things like that. But you come to find, like, it's just very simple. It's just a matter of, the thing about baking always is about finding the right balance with all your ingredients, and that's why you see things like this, and you'll see me using it more in other videos. Anyway, I hope this was informative. I know that I hope that it was informative for you, and that you will consider using these in your traditional recipes, baking recipes that may not call for it. Now, I'm not asking you to add lemon or orange zest to like a chicken casserole. I'm talking about like baked goods and things like that, or just desserts in general that you might not typically see. Like, you could do a creme brulee with a bit of that lemon touch or orange. Just be creative with it, and that's the beauty about baking, is that even though for measurements and things like that, for specific ingredients, it's very important to get it very, very specific, very set. But I'm here to show you that using these ways, you can kind of add a different element to each recipe that you do. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.